You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are. Trust me. I should know. But now, I seek something tangible. Someone I care for. Trapped within the atlas. Reliving memories. Made real. Made grotesque. Made foul. These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers. We must find the originator. We must save my sister. Someone I care for, trapped within the atlas. Reliving memories, made real.
What have you done?
Made grotesque. Made foul. These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers. We must find the originator. We must save my sister.
Your sanity is not promised to you here.
We must find the originator. We must save my sister. You can search 1,000 worlds and still never truly discover who you are. Trust me. I should know. But now, I seek something more tangible. Someone I care for, trapped within the Atlas. Reliving memories, made real, made grotesque, made foul. These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers. We must find the originator. We must save my sister. Someone I care for, trapped within the Atlas. Reliving memories, made real.
What have you done?
Made grotesque. Made foul. These manifestations must be destroyed. Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers. We must find the originator. We must save my sister.
Your sanity is not promised to you here.
must find the originator. We must save my sister.
Yo, what's up, exiles? I wanted to show you a budget version I made for the Death Souls build. I saw this build from Aero, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Don't crucify me. I will put the link on the original build in the description. It's two of my favorite builds combined. It's Death Souls, which hasn't seen, I mean, a bright day for 2 or 3 leagues, and it's Impending Doom, which also hasn't seen a good day for some leagues. But with this helmet, it's possible again to even also combine it with Death's Oath. Mostly we use Impending Doom for single target. Why Poison? Because we scale a lot of chaos damage over time. And also chaos damage scales poison, also damage over time scales poison. So that's why poison is so much worth. Like from the, if I show you here, the total damage from the poison is 1 million. The hit damage is nowhere close to that. It is on average 100k. So you see why it's worth. It's like the poison is like 9/10 of the damage. Because we scale a lot of damage over time multipliers. For our Death Souls, I use less duration with life tap. Aero made sure to explain this synergy. I also have life tap on my shield charge and flame dash and withering step. Increased area of effect, self-explanatory, life tap, void manipulation, efficacy, and swift affliction. That's for our Death Souls. For our Death Aura, I use 2 Sundered Will rings for 15% of increase and reductions to chaos damage also applied to effect of auras. We need max roll for that modifier, because if I go here and go to on kill monster explosion, because it cannot be modified with gems and stuff like that. You see here 500. It's the increased chaos damage, which means 15% is 75. 75 times 2 is 150, which is the maximum we can get. So all you need is 500 increased chaos damage. We gain a lot of from tree, from jewels. If you see here, I gain a lot from jewels. But you ask, how is it budget if you need jewels? Well, we don't get the increased effect. We get nodes like Wicked Pal, like Unwaveringly, Unwaveringly Evil, and Unholy Grace, which gives us 30% increased chaos damage. So in total it's like 90 here. We get some 20% here, 25% here, some from the smaller notables, and you want to get elemental resistance and chaos resistance in your jewels. For example, this is perfect for us because we get to cap our chaos resistance. Some attributes. You basically are looking for attributes, all elemental resistances, or the resistance you need to fix. We also have septic spells and 10% here, and the rest is tattoos. You don't need to tattoo the poison on hit until much later. I have some here. I also have increased chaos damage tattoo to reach the 500 cap. Why I go this way and not this way? Because while I was leveling with one ring, I used the Death Rush. It's a really cool ring and you recover some life on kill. Vampirism gives a similar effect, and we also get some recoup as well, which is not that useful, but the life on kill is absolutely mandatory to survive hard maps. We cannot anoint it because we need as the mountain, which is right here. It needs 2 black and 1 opalescent oil. It gives us 3 max block, so we hit the 78 cap. We need some more spell block and we need some more fire resistance. I haven't fixed that yet. We get some block from the shield. I crafted this myself. I will show you how to craft the gear you can craft. We also have a corrupted blood jewel. You don't need the rest, you just need corrupted blood. You can upgrade later if you find a good one. We need a lot of strength to be able to maintain, to equip the death souls. You might get these nodes. I currently have this. I need like 26 more strength to free up 1 point. We get the reservation clusters here, some life, some flat life here. We get the block mastery for 1% chance to block spell damage per 5% to block attack damage. Get some spell block here, and also this shield mastery to get a little bit more block attack to cap our block. We get some block in our small clusters. I think I have one here. Yeah. Also, second skin gives us 4% block spell and 4% block attack. Elemental resistances, reservation efficiency. If you don't have max reduced reservation roll and you have a shield like that, you can get a mortifying aspect jewel, which gives you 50% mana reservation efficiency to your malevolence, so you can have all your auras. Despair aura is free because of the amulet, the impresence. Vitality, malevolence, purity of elements, and tempest shield. We have purity of elements, so we don't need a lot of resistances in our flasks and stuff like that. So we can use flasks, for example, for other stuff. I will explain later. We have 10% chance to poison here. We also have 20% to poison cursed enemies, which they are always cursed from the Despair Aura and the Impending Doom, the curse we cast. We combine Eldritch Battery with Mind Over Matter. This makes it so our life and energy shield is like a combined effective hit pool, and it doesn't interrupt the recharge. We have a very slow recharge. You can get an energy shield mastery for 2%, regenerate 2% energy shield per second. It is very good. But we also have this from the Vile Bastion node from the Occultist. About the Ascendancy. Of course, Void Beacon, Withering Presence, gives us a lot of chaos resistance and more chaos damage. And Wither, Profane Bloom for the explosions, and Vile Bastion. It gives us immune to stun. It gives us a lot of energy shield. we take these nodes, the chaos damage. I wish I could get these nodes. I have to free up some space here, maybe maybe tattoo increased chaos damage and respect this node, or some 20% from here. The thing is, we get increased maximum mana here. Why is this important? Where is it? Here, dark idealization. If you see here, we get 24% increased maximum mana, increased chaos damage per 100 mana. And the increased maximum mana makes it so we just have enough to reach the 500 cap. You need 500 increased chaos damage to reach the max value from the rings. So you do more damage. You don't need to be min-maxed that much. This is just a cheap as possible min-maxed version. So we go this way, we take the vampirism, increased area of effect. It counts for the death aura as well. If you see here, I go to death aura here. So we get increased area of effect, 20%. Also from the small nodes. I wish I could go here, because these two are very powerful. Area damage is also a good option for small cluster jewels. They give you a lot of damage. And increased area of effect. If you want to check your area of effects, you go to Death Aura and you go here to the radius. And you see exactly how big it is. Even for Despair, you can see exactly compared to your screen. +1 of all Chaos Kill Gems, and here we have 20% chance to ignite, freeze, shock, and poison. We benefit mostly from the poison. We need 30% area of effect and 10% increased effect. It gives us effect on malevolence and stuff like that, and purity of elements. If you are running, also don't forget the mana mastery, mana reservation efficiency. You can get any mana node you want. You can get this if it's better for you. Actually, we could get this. It has some chance to block spell, which we need. Anyways, if you are running something like strong boxes or blight and you want to open your because it's a fast casting spell, you spam it, you can get the caster mastery for 25% chance to open nearby chests. It works on strong boxes too, so you don't have to click any the strong boxes. You can just pass and press your skill and it will open the strong boxes. I think that's it for the tree. About the gear. Of course, Dead Souls, Whalebone Doedress, we have Conductivity, Spell Cascade, Unbound Ailments, and Void Manipulation. Let's explain the uniques first. Vixen's Entrapment, we have our Vitality, Spell Cascade, Temporal Change, and Enfeeble. What this does is when we cast a spell, when we cast our curse, it casts also the curse which are inside here. So what happens is our first curse, our conductivity, expires and triggers the impending doom, the doom blast. That's why it's so good, those two combined. And because we have a despair aura, we overlap the curses and the first one expires and the loop goes on. For the boots, you have two options. Karokan's Flight gives you immune to Burning Ground, Shock Ground, and Chill Ground. Mostly we need this for Burning Ground, because we don't have enough recovery, if you see here. Life recovery, it's 300 per second, which is nothing. It's very low. We get some extra max health, not very much, but okay. When we are moving, we get an extra 100 life per second. The other option is Death's Door. It fixes your resistances. It gives you an extra endurance charge. Bleeding cannot be inflicted on you. Some strength on it, so it fixes your strength also. But we die to ground effects. You can also craft some influenced boots, but I wanted to keep this budget. For the belt, I'm using a Stygian Vice. How do you craft this Stygian Vice? See here, I have a lot. I'm out of currency trying to craft a good one. You get a powerful resonator, and you get a pristine fossil for more life and no defense. You get an aberrant for more chaos, no lightning. We don't care about the lightning because we counter it with corroded fossil anyways. More physical element or chaos element modifiers. But before we do that, we need to change the influence. Hunter's Exalt is expensive. So what we do? We get an Elder's Exalt. We get an Elder's Exalt. We apply influence. We go to the horticrafting station. And we reforge the influence. Do we have enough currency? We are broke as fuck. Let's hope at least we get lucky. Nope, no luck. You reroll the influence to Hunter. A Hunter's Exalt is 200 chaos. Maybe you save currency, maybe you don't. If you don't, to skip the hassle, just buy Hunter's Exalted Orb and put it on your belt. Make sure it has an empty modifier. If it's full, just reroll it one or twice to have an empty modifier, so you can slam the Exalt, the Hunter's Exalt, Saber Exalt, whatever your choice is. And then with these three fossils, you try to get increased maximum life, flat maximum life, and increased chaos damage. Let me show you an example. An example is like this. Increased chaos damage, flat maximum life, increased maximum life. These are three prefixes. Preferably, we want some strength. Something like this. But we need also increased maximum life and flat maximum life to be worth. These are expensive. They sell for a lot. Let me lower the price of these because they don't seem to sell. I have a shield like this. I got very lucky with this one. At least the suffixes are okay. I need to recraft the prefixes, or if I sell, I start over. Then I wanted, because this one gives me 5% energy shield on block. This gives me life on block. And life is more important than energy shield on block, because from life you can die, from energy shield you cannot die. That was my main issue. And I got lucky also with this and got some extra energy shield. I will leave a link for Locohol's video in the description on how to craft the shield. For the wand, how do we craft this wand? First of all, you need a base with fracture damage over time multiplier. Specifically, this one I found on trade side just with a quality, it was 28% quality. I rolled damage over time multiplier and I fractured it. I got lucky. Okay, I have no money to craft this right now. I recommend checking guide online. This is not the best. I mean, plus level doesn't benefit us a whole lot. It benefits the despair aura. Where is my despair? Despair. Here is despair. Increased area of effect, despair, and blasphemy, of course. Plus 3 levels total from global modifiers, 2 on the wand, 1 on the tree. Instead of increased area of effect, you can go for enhance or empower. About the flasks, we get you have these 2 flasks, which can be anything you want. I prefer a sulfur flask and a granite flask. Immunity to poison, used when you become poisoned. Immunity to bleeding, used when you start bleeding. We also have the forbidden taste. I got this idea from Aero as well. Recover 100% of life on use when you take a savage hit, which means if an enemy reduces your life a lot, you get back to full health. We have so much chaos resistance, we have almost 80%, that the chaos dot doesn't do that much damage. Increased movement speed on onslaught flask as well. Increased movement speed on movement speed flask as well. So while mapping, they gain a lot of charges, and we are fast as fuck. Combined with Withering Step, you can be very fast. You can craft better boots, of course, if you want to take it to the next level. For leveling, I recommend Death Rush before you swap to Double Ring. The total cost of the build, with the jewels, with everything, it's about 50 to 60 divines. That's because the jewels are a pain to craft. They are a big pain to craft. Let's see if we have a chaos damage. You want to go to the Horde crafting station and reforge chaos, or you can do it with fossils. It's better to do with fossils, but sometimes it's not. Depends on what you're willing to do. I don't want to hustle to buy the fossils and run out of fossils and buy again the fossils. So I just went here and reforged chaos until I get 3 notables with 30% increased chaos damage. And 1 dark idealization, of course, that's what you need. You can also buy them. I bought this one, for example, because I was done. I couldn't do any more. I crafted 1, it was already too hard. Same thing with the medium cluster jewels. Reforged chaos, with a small life, reforged life. The reservation efficiency, you just need to roll it. I mean, you can reforge life if you want, reforge physical, elemental, whatever you want, not physical. Chaos, fire, or just craft it the old way with alteration orbs. Then regal, exalt, annul, and goes on and goes on. Don't forget, you absolutely need mortifying aspect, 1 of it. If you see, I have almost all my mana reserve. I barely can keep my auras alive. We don't need discipline, not that much, at least without Mage Blood. If we had Mage Blood, discipline is a good aura. Some block you need on jewels as well, don't forget that. You need block here, cap your block. So, yeah, The Purity of Elements is a cheap option because it gives us immunity to all ailments, which means Scorch, Sap, Chill, Freeze, Shock, Ignite, everything, without needing to buy a Storm Shroud. For the Grafts, I have Heart of Flame. You see, if I press my Withering Step, I lose some life, Heart of Flame. 4,500, it's like a smaller Molten Shell. And Tender Embrace. So when we get to low life, more life recovery rate, and we get an endurance charge. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and see you in the next one.